Jonikomi Takuyo Yase. For the moment, I'm going to be giving you a very basic thing for adverbs. Just kind of the normal way that you would use them in a sentence, and then a vocab list of 25 adverbs. I'm not going to get into a great amount of detail with this for a specific reason. How it was said before that there's not a real past tense in the language, where there was a way to turn a sentence into a past tense that I showed you, but it's not necessary. You can put something in present tense and have it still be technically past tense if you wanted to. But more than anything, though, there are a variety of ways to make it clear that a sentence is past tense, and part of that is with the use of what we call the adverbial clause. That gives you the ability to kind of narrow a sentence down to having taken place at a certain time in the past or within a certain time frame that would make sense to the other person, that, okay, yeah, I know when this happened. So there is that, and since that is fairly complex and complicated, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to keep this simple. So pretty much this just kind of gets narrowed down to 3 basic points. Adverb, if it affects primarily, and you'll understand what I mean when you get the list of adverbs, but if it primarily affects your direct object of the sentence, your subject, it would go right at the beginning, kind of like the way the interrogatives work. Since the interrogatives are adverbs themselves, you would put that directly at the beginning of the sentence, right before the direct object. If it affects primarily the indirect object, then you would put that right before the indirect object, or in the case where you have a sentence where the indirect object is implied but not stated, it would go in the place of the indirect object in between the ke and your verb. If it's neither, if it's just like a general thing like the word sometimes, then it goes at the end right after the verb. So this will be your list of 25 adverbs. Chetu, roughly, meaning kind of, in that general range over there. In that general area, this general amount, that's chetu. Wonkatu, high up. Ochipalacho, ahead of or lined up in a row. Manil, away from home. Okakishia, in an abusive or kind of very harsh, heavy-handed manner. Ektawaba, close to and facing one another. Yushnashni, accurately. Yuhipayela, nearby. Tokish, recklessly done or done wrong. Ektana, directly behind or right after. Ake, again or for the second time. Oyumanimani, in endless circles. Oyushkea, animated, kind of like in the way you'd say, oh, that person's like has a very animated personality. The other use for this is alert. Atayash, entirely. Nos elachecha, almost or very close. Oglala, next to or in front of. Ehata, already, ever since, or from the beginning. Itusheka, nevertheless, it happens in repetition or it's mastered through repetition. Toka, somewhere else. Wishikahia, instead of. Napatecha, less than. Ha'akab, on the outside or on the surface. Ichishniya, isolated from or a ways off. Ayuco, well done. and esha also. So basically, you can probably think of these as something that doesn't need to be stated in order for your sentence to work, but can be added in those three places that I told you. The other way that would kind of work, especially like with the also message, would be you could use that to perhaps say like one sentence and then esha and another sentence. Could kind of like link things together that way. Yeah, that's the basic thing for adverbs. The next thing I'm going to attempt to do is to show you how to do quotations. So maybe Oglala Nakota Hohe.